Hi guys, I want to talk about this video of WolfeyVGC, where it talks about the complexity between doubles and single battles. I think he's missing a few points, and I would like to clarify and add to this kind of conversation because this opinion as well lacks them. So let's see what he has to say and go from
Tried to
there.
tell me that Pokemon single battles were more complex than Pokemon double battles. In single battles, you have 4 moves to choose from and 5 Pokemon you can switch to each turn, for a total of 9 options per turn per player. There's 2 players, so 9 times 9 is 81 possible game states each turn. In doubles, you have 4 moves, but each of those 4 moves can be used into 3 different slots, your 2 opponent slots plus your partner. You also have 2 Pokemon you can switch to, so that's a total of 14 options per Pokemon. But unlike singles, you have 2 Pokemon who are making moves, so that's 14 times 14 different options, minus 2 because you can't switch to the same Pokemon twice. That's 194 options, but that's only for one player. To get the full picture here, we have to multiply 194 times 194, or 37,636 different possible game states after only the first turn. Double battles aren't just more complicated than single battles, they're so much more complex that it's almost an entirely different game.
Here, while he's correct that it's almost like an entirely different game, I won't call that much more complex. Simple reason, and it does state it, games are quick. Now, yes, per turn doubles are a lot, and I mean a lot more complex, but they end a lot more quicker. Here, for example, this is random game that I went around. Now let's start it. You guys got the Ribombi versus Gaganachi, right? Now, for example, what do you think Ribombi is going to do? Sticky webs, right? So from now on to the end of the game, until he can rapid spin with Dusk, he has to account for the webs for all of his plays. Now you're going to say, yeah, but in doubles I need to account for Tailwind and Trick Room and Sun. Well, he has to account for Rain. And it lasts 8 turns, not 5 turns, because Pelipper always goes with a Dump Rock. Now look, for example, Turkle. Oh, he said, eat rock, only. You'd love to have boots? No, eat rock. Those 8 turns are extremely important for him. Now you go to Picalytics, and let's see, for example, where is he? I think I may have passed him. No, I think he's 1%, right? Can I like, where is he? Come on, Tarkova, where are you, man? Come on, man. Oh, 6, okay. Items: charcoal, choice packs, citrus berry, eject pact, flame plate, witness policy, southwest, eat rock, 1.226%. So pretty, I mean, yeah, this as well. That okay. You see, he doesn't need this kind of stuff because the games are that much shorter. Yes, you're bombarded with options, but it's a lot quicker. And now another thing that he doesn't really talk about is team building. Now, I'll say team building in singles is a lot more complex because the way Smogon operates, they make sure that there is a lot and a lot of viable ways to play the game. You go to look here and there's Pokemon that are completely different. These two Pokemons, they have the same role. Great Tusk has pretty much a similar role to Landros. You know, Glimora is also a Pokemon that can mix those roles, and Cinderace is kind of a counter to those roles. So you have a lot more Pokemon to do a lot of different things that you don't do it on doubles because the way the format operates, it's more of a Nintendo's fault than the style of play itself. Because of their rules, they have a timer, and because of the timer, they aren't really allowed to go stall. Their defensive options are extremely more limited because they don't have time for that. Could you imagine going to a tournament and having each game taking like 40 minutes, each set, 40 or 50 minutes? You need to do 9 sets? Like, what? What? You see, that's why I completely understand why they do that. and it's fine, that they are completely different games. When you come to doubles, you really only have offense and balance. And I'm not going to talk about team sheets. That's something new. That's probably not going to happen next games because they don't have Terra. But you kind of know more or less the play style of the enemy's team. It's a lot easier to play around nowadays. Another thing that it's not about complexity, but I think that does make singles 6v6 overall a better game, better competitive game, is that the axe isn't as important. If you get unlucky on the turn, it's a lot easier to play around in this format because you have a lot of other options. Like if Goldengo gets a special defense drop on, I see, look, he got a crit, so he should be fucked, right? No, I got crit. No, please, I lost the game. Nope, can still easily play around the crit. He was already playing around the crit because you can play around the conditions when you play on this one. The crit chance, the burn chance, the miss chance. It's easier to play around in singles, while in doubles you don't really have an option. You need to pray to the gods of Pokemon. You need to pray to Arkush that these kinds of things don't happen. While on singles, you can play around them. I'm obviously talking about 6v6 singles, not the official 3v3 format, which is awful. I mean, you're just going to use all the broken shit that Smoke can ban and try to do something in hyper offense. That's it. That doesn't have anything else to do there. Just get a priority move as well, like a quick attack on your ogre pawn, and play from there. It's not much. It's not complex at all. And while on this, it's very nuanced. You see, you got a crit. It's fine. It's fine. You know, no problem. Now, if his great dust gets burned, he can still operate. It's not just well in VGC. If a great dust gets burned, it's pretty much wasting time and space on the field. In here, you can still do stuff. You can still knock off. You can still rapid spin. You know. Now, another thing about singles is you need to think about a lot of turns in advance to not create an opening. You know, on this case, it doesn't really matter for this side. On this side, can you imagine him getting an opening for the Valiant to Calm Mind or Swords Dance? I mean, it's fine because he has a better Scooter, but can you imagine that? Or opening a turn for Gouging Fire to get the free Dragon Dance? You know? Now, granted, in VGC you can say, oh, we can do a double protect and you can take advantage. That's how Wolfey won the tournament. Yes, but that's a lot rarer. That's why it's talked about because it happened one time. Okay, I'm not going to say that it's never going to happen again. Obviously, it will, but you know, it's a lot. It's a lot rarer. In here, it's very easy to create an opening. Now look, this Goldengo. It's very weak right now. He could go Great Tusk if he wanted and try to do stuff. I don't know. It's Great Tusk set, and that's about it. Because the way singles operate, the sets varied a lot more than on doubles. Now on doubles, you can do a lot of cool stuff that you cannot do on singles. Because you have two Pokemon, that's why Trick Room and Tailwind are very good options on doubles and they are worthless on singles. Because again, they don't really have many other options, they have few turns so they can make it work. On doubles that doesn't work. On singles, I mean, that doesn't work because you need to atone for a lot. Now, Trick Room isn't very viable because you don't have anything much to abuse it with. You have like Ursaluna right now. If you had Melmetal, I guess that could be a playstyle a bit more used. But that's it really. I don't think that singles 66 is overall more complex than VGC. Although I do think team building for singles is more complex, you see. 47 turns. It took 47 turns. You need to account for 37 turns. It's like you need to multiply those number of options for 47 if you want to go by the logic he's using here. While is you need to multiply that number for
Game.
actually
Somebody
I
tried to
will do
tell
that.
me that Pokemon single battles were more complex than Pokemon double battles. In single battles,
Let's
you have 4 moves to choose from and 5 Pokemon you can switch to each turn, for a total of 9 options per turn per player. There's 2 players, so 9 times 9 is 81 possible game states each turn. In doubles, you have 4 moves, but each of those 4 moves can be used into 3 different slots, your 2 opponent slots plus your partner. You also have 2 Pokemon you can switch to, so that's a total of 14 options per Pokemon. But unlike singles, you have 2 Pokemon who are making moves, so that's 14 times 14 different options, minus 2 because you can't switch to the same Pokemon twice. That's 194 options, but that's only for one player. To get the full picture here,
I mean, you get it, right? What I'm trying to say. Well, again, I'm not saying that singles is more complex. I'm just saying that they are overall on the same level. I know we want some draft leagues, but on draft leagues you need to remember that 70% of the game is already played before they even start, because you already know their teams and what they can do. So that's all I have to say. It's just adding more to the conversation, really. I'm not saying that he's being a moron or anything. He makes an extremely valid point. I'm just going to just want to add some extra nuance and stuff. Add to the conversation. I don't think any of them is particularly harder than the others, just that they are very different games that they should both be respected. Even if Nintendo doesn't care about Smogon, we should still care because they actually try very hard to make it a balanced game. Yeah, you don't like stall. You don't need to use stall. You can use hyper offense. You can use balance team. You can use rain, sun, sandstorm. Yeah, no, you can use sandstorm. We have Excadrill. You can use a veil team, sticky webs team. There's a lot of options. When it comes to doubles, you have Trick Room, you have now Rain or Sun, and you have Tailwind. Those are pretty much the options that are matter right now, because Nintendo doesn't care about balancing the game. I'm sure that if people like Wolfie could balance it, I'm sure you will see a lot more good options. But right now, it's what it is. That's why you come here, and you also see stuff like this. And we don't have Incineroar in statistics right now. You know, we don't, because when you look at Smogon, you see like 3 or 4 Pokemon that are like this, and then everything else heavily drops because people play around a lot more. Because they have options because of the bans. Yeah, bans are bad. I want to play with my favorite Pokemon. Yeah, man, it sucks, but the truth is, when you go to the meta game, it, it's a lot more stuff that becomes viable. It's just it. It's just that. You know. Well, if you have anything else to add it. I don't mind. It's a conversation overall. It's not a pure statement that Wolfie is wrong. He's an idiot. No, not at all. Subscribe to him. He's a cool guy. Um, have fun.